Welcome back, friends and family. You can tell this is a new studio setup. This is going to be a new series that we're going to start. This will basically be more of a podcast setup. This is my attempt to get to what would be our live streams because I can't do many live streams at this point anymore. And there's a few reasons why. First off, being a single father with full custody of all my kids, night times, that's the time that I try to give to my kids, and I've been working so much, so late, that I don't want that to ever detract from my children's time. And putting them to bed and reading stories and saying prayers and having family time, and we even do a lot of our boxing at that time, that is vital to me, and I'm not willing to neglect that time with them because that's why I fought long and hard to get full custody, so the live streams we're going to still try to get to every once in a while, but the main idea of the live streams was to answer people's ongoing questions, to try to get to questions in a way that gives people kind of more immediate answers and that gives more attention to a certain topic. This is where we are specifically going to answer people's questions. I'll be having guests come on. We're going to be doing interviews. We'll even get to certain community ideas. And guys, I want to hear from you. Any ideas you guys have, put them in the comment section on this video here. Let us know what you would like to see here in this kind of a scenario. Each week there'll be one of these. I don't know what day and what time yet. My schedule is like so crammed with so much, and yeah, it's been a lot. It's been a lot, guys, and I appreciate all your love and support. And I'm really grateful, actually, when you guys are like, hey, where's the live streams? What happened to the live streams? And I know how many of you want the live streams, and I'm still going to try to get to those when I can. It might end up being more of like a twice a month thing. But, again, my attempt to make everybody happy and to get to a big part of what this community is about, which is bringing us all together and answering questions as well. This is how we're going to start here, pre-recorded podcasts, okay? As we set up the live podcast, this is what we're going to do, okay? So everybody stay here. Stick with this, okay? Watch these videos, share these videos, spread these videos. First, like the video right now. We need that. And you guys, we need to make sure you understand this. Well, I suppose now that the election is over with, hopefully social media will have some changes, and one of those changes might be that our channel might not be so scrutinized anymore, and we might not have videos deleted, and maybe our videos will get monetized again because we're not making any money anymore. And this is a big part of what I do and the time I devote to this community, and this is money here that I put in, and when all the videos are getting demonetized, that's money not coming back. So that's a big deal for me, especially as a sole proprietor, as a business owner, as the person whose pockets fund everything. We need that income to come in to keep everything going. All right, so that's the summary. That's that. Okay, and another thing is community song requests. This has been so awesome. I love this, guys, because many of you know my background. Was in the music industry. I was in a few bands. I was on the road. I was a live performer, then an engineer and a producer, and in the studio. And I've been very blessed in that path. I got to achieve a lot of goals and see out a lot of my dreams as a kid, being a rock star. But I found that it wasn't for me. I loved it when I was younger. It was the greatest thing in the world. I mean, I will always be passionate about music. So I left the music industry for a little while, took a break. But then I got an opportunity to go back in as a producer, engineer, songwriter for other artists, and I worked in studios in New York and Philly and in LA and Santa Barbara, and that was huge. That was awesome. It was a great blessing. I also got to work with one of my favorite artists growing up. My mother loved Patti LaBelle. Patti is one of the most amazing and talented singers and one of the sweetest people you could ever meet. I got to sing on her album Timeless Journey on a song called 2 Steps Away. And I got to spend some time with Patti, and she just lights up a room wherever she goes. And so that was huge. And so I went into production and engineering. I really loved that, but again, working overnight, late nights, not conducive to a family when you want to raise your kids. So I left the music industry, and obviously the whole time I've also always been coaching, and all of my other endeavors, addiction recovery comes into play. So as a musician, I got to do a lot of addiction recovery work in the music industry with a lot of people, and then in bodybuilding, same thing, and then mentoring troubled youth. Obviously, that's a huge part of what I do. So, okay. The long story that I just told is basically just saying thanks for the cover ideas. Love them. All right. So here's another cover request from a community member. And this is Redemption Song by Bob Marley. Now, I will preface this with the fact that I rarely ever practice. I don't have time to practice. I don't really go over these songs more than maybe once ahead of time. And so forgive me, because I expect a certain level of musicianship from myself, but I can't really give that at this point. My hands don't work the same, and my voice isn't nothing like it used to be. So that's all. Just bear with me. Here we go. Oh, pirates, yes, they rob I, sold I to the merchant ships. Minutes after they took I from the bottomless pits, but my hand was made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We forward in this generation triumphantly. Won't you help me sing these songs of freedom? It's all I ever had. Redemption songs. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Oh, have no fear for atomic energy. None of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Oh, some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help me sing these songs of freedom? It's all I ever have. Redemption songs. Redemption songs. Redemption songs. And I forgot to turn my phone off, so the whole time my phone is blowing up. And I told myself I was going to turn the phone off while we do these videos, these opening, beginning of the live podcast stuff. So I didn't. But, all right. So then getting into community questions. So then, and I need your help to lay out this format. So we'll do a little kind of intro like I did. Then we'll do a cover song or community cover requests, let's call it. There you go. Community cover requests. That's part 2. And then part 3 will be answering community questions. How about that? Answering community questions. There we go. And I think this could be a really good format, and I hope you guys really get into this and feel kind of an interaction with me. We're also going to do giveaways, which is really cool. And if you didn't catch the video yet, go watch that video, because there's some big news in there. But you know what? No, we got to do news. All right, so maybe part 2 needs to be news. So part 1 will be kind of like introduction. Part 2 will be news. How about that? Like healing together news. Okay. Then part 3 will be community cover request. Then part 4 will be answering community questions. I think that works. And then we need maybe we could do a part 5, guys. I need your help. Let's make healing together bigger than the Joe Rogan show, the Joe Rogan experience. How about that? There's our goal. That's a good goal. That's my goal. That's a good goal. I really like that. That's our goal. I want us to make the Healing Together show at least as big as the Joe Rogan Experience. We can do that, guys. We can definitely do that. So I need your help. So go ahead and like the video now if you haven't already. We need you to subscribe to the channel, stick around for these podcast shows, and spread the word. There's a few different elements to Healing Together. A large part of it is KRATOM. That is a huge part of Healing Together, KRATOM. Bringing my advocacy and awareness and experience and research and all of the things that I have put into 11 years of being a personal KRATOM user and almost 15 years in utilizing KRATOM in my addiction recovery program and experience. And all the research and experiences that I was able to gather from that time really provided me with so much insight as to the finer details of KRATOM. So that's what I try to bring you guys. But then there's also the physical healing aspect, which is me suffering the spinal fusion, my recovery, my TBI, living with a brain injury. I won't go into the host of things here, but organ failure. I had all my organs fail on me and not work symbiotically in 2003. Lost 50 pounds. Went from 180 pounds working model down to a skeleton, 120 pounds. And I was given 2 months left to live. They told me I was going to die. Well, here I am. Now, I also don't want to make these too long because that obviously decreases viewership, because the longer these tend to be, the less people stick around to watch it. So I want to make it kind of interactive. I want to make it enjoyable, exciting, informative. So any ideas you guys have, drop them in the comments section. Let's run with this, okay? So getting to answering community questions. So we actually have a long list of questions that have been coming in for a couple years. I've tried to keep track of a lot of these, but in the process, I've probably neglected a ton of them just because we couldn't get to it or I didn't see it. So the question goes, hey coach, I took KRATOM for the first time and it was a terrible experience. I felt sick and nauseous. I couldn't even stare at my phone without feeling like I was going to pass out. I was lightheaded and it was not a good time, I don't want to do that again, but I really want to get into KRATOM for social anxieties and to help my pain. And lists his name, we'll call him Joe. So, that's a great question, Joe. This obviously means that you just took too much. I would love to have more details if you took it on an empty stomach, had you eaten, if you were mixing it with anything else, if you had a bunch of caffeine, if you were drinking alcohol at the time. But typically when you take too much KRATOM, you get something called the eye wobbles. And it's like I can't shave. I can't even shave my head. I mean, I can shave most of it, but I can't shave around my ears or anything like finer detailed if I've taken too much. You get the spins where you feel a little lightheaded, and definitely you can get to nausea. And you get something that we call the eye wobbles. And it's like your eyes just cannot stay in one place. They have a hard time focusing. Another thing is people can nod out. If you take too much, it is not a good idea to drive. I have had a couple experiences relayed to me of people who took too much and got behind the wheel. And the one guy said he definitely had to pull over. I don't think the other person did. But the one guy said he pulled over until it passed, which was about an hour. So remember that. If you take too much, it might take some time for that to wear off. So that's most likely what happened. I don't know how much you took. That's another thing we would need to know. But most people, if you start slow and start small, as we advise, you're not going to have that happen. If you take KRATOM for the first time on an empty stomach, you might feel a little nausea. You might feel kind of sick to your stomach. Might even give you diarrhea. Might give you the runs. It's happened to a bunch of people. But typically, what I advise, if you've never taken KRATOM before, now you're ingesting plant matter. And then if you're consuming capsules, now you're taking in all those capsules. And then the capsule needs to break down, and the plant matter is sitting in there. There's always some kind of way the body's going to react to something for the first time. But ingesting too much plant matter for the first time can definitely make your stomach upset, especially if you take it on an empty stomach. So start small, start slow. I always just say if you're starting with capsules, just try one. Just try one capsule. Even if it does nothing for you, okay, well, you just took one. It's not going to matter. Next time you take two. See what that does. Because there's a lot of people where for the first time, 2 capsules actually can hit them pretty well. Now, if you're using this for pain relief, you obviously might need a little more. You might need a little more strength coming in to actually feel the pain relief. So friends, thank you for watching this new series, this new setup. I want to hear your feedback. I do. I want your good, bad feedback. I want your indifference. I want your ideas. Keep them coming, okay, guys? But what we need the most is your support through liking the videos, subscribing to the channel, and sharing these videos. That's what we need, because that's going to get us through the YouTube hoops and challenges and the people that, you know, are demonetizing and deleting our videos and pushing that red button. So we need to overcome that. We need to get over that hurdle so that we're bigger, so that we are big enough where they can't do that, okay? Or they don't want to do that because we're actually growing too big. And lastly, we want to send a huge thanks to so many of you who have been giving these super thanks, these buttons. And a lot of people just say, enjoy a cup of coffee, here's coffee on me, whatever, whatever. And you may not know this or realize it, but every $1, $2 that you guys send in, that really adds up, because it makes a huge difference even in just paying for the equipment. We've got some product that we're going to be giving away here soon. We've got more t-shirts, we've got hoodies. We're trying to get a lot more product in both Healing Together, HardgainZ, and if you haven't already, head over to Savior the Second. If you're into Second Amendment stuff, if you're into firearms and guns and stuff, that will be a good place for you. If you're not, that's not going to be your cup of tea. So stick with us here. All right, friends and family, thank you again so much for being here. Thank you for supporting us, the channel, the community. We appreciate everything so much, and I don't want that to go unsaid. All right, everyone, catch you next video.